Hello, it's that I'm holding up a pink marker. Don't worry about the pink marker. Hello, it's that time again. It is that time again. It is time for Blackoween-a-thon, the greatest time of the year. Shout out to Brie for creating this wonderful, amazing readathon that is in its 4th year. We must give Brie her flowers. This is one of the most amazing projects that I have seen on the internet, in the book community, and I have seen Brie build this thing up from year 1 to now year 4. Baby, you have done such an amazing job. I am so proud of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel so honored to be a part of this and to be one of the co-hosts. So we're gonna dive a little bit into what's happening for Blackoween-a-thon. This is my announcement. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the area that I am hosting. I have some great recommendations for you. Y'all know me, I love to do the reader's advisory thing, and I'm gonna be doing recommendations all throughout the month on this channel, on Rama Comics. So if you're not following me on Rama Comics, you might want to follow me for Blackoween-a-thon. I'm just saying it would be to your benefit to follow me on Rama Comics as well during Blackoween-a-thon. So let's go ahead and jump into this because there's a lot of moving parts and I'm going to explain it so that you don't get confused. Also, make sure you check out Brie's original video. Please check out Brie's video. Brie has everything broken down and simplified in a way. Open up your ears, open up your eyes, pay close attention. She has so many resources, which I will link down in my description box as well. She goes through everything in detail and so many different what if scenarios so that you don't miss out on anything, okay? So make sure you check out her original video. All right, so let's jump into it. What is Blackoween-a-thon? If you didn't know, like I said before, Blackoween-a-thon is a readathon that has been created by Brie over the Lockbooktition. This is the 4th year of Blackoween-a-thon, and we spend October celebrating Black authors who write in crime fiction. So when you think crime fiction, think thriller, horror, mystery, cozy mystery. You could even think about things like romantic suspense. Like, it is all of those different elements in which we are housed under crime fiction, and we are celebrating those. Black books means Black authors, Black characters. We keep it a blackity black 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 black. Blackity 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 all October. Okay, so how is Blackoween-a-thon different from previous years? Brie has created this amazing, beautiful world that we get to explore for years to come, and that is Tulis Parish, which is inspired by New Orleans, Louisiana. If you didn't know, Brie is from New Orleans, represents hard for New Orleans. So if you did not know that, now you know. But Tulis Parish is this beautiful world that Brie has created that features 6 different locations that we as participants get to explore and experience. So I'm going to go through each one of those locations, tell you a little bit about the host, tell you thematically what those areas are like. I'm not going to go into specific details in terms of the prompts for each one of those areas because I'm going to be specifically looking at my area, but I will make sure that if you are interested in those areas and those prompts, all of that information is going to be listed down below. But I do want to spend a lot of time just detailing a little bit of how you can explore the area that I'm going to be hosting. So the first one that we have is Bayou's Haunted House, or Bayou Haunted House. This is going to be hosted by Brie, and this is for the people who love ghost stories. So if you are into the ghost-like element, the structure, the house, the haunted house type of thing, this is going to be the area for you. The second one that we have is the area that is hosted by me, and this is Ruby's Crew. So if you're a fan of all things children literature, middle grade, if you like comics, if you like graphic novels, this is the area where you can explore those illustrated works, and this is the area where you can get your family involved. So if you like those elements, come vibe with me. The next section is Noir Apothecary, and this is going to be hosted by both Alana and Brie. This is for people who are fans of things that are not so spooky. So things like cozy mysteries, romantic suspense, if that's your area. definitely try this out. I promise you, I probably will be dipping my toe into Noir Apothecary because I love a good cozy mystery, and this is just calling to my soul. Then we have the Laissez-Faire Streetcar, which is the area that specifically deals with time. So if you like books that have time elements to them, this is the area where you're gonna thrive, and this is being hosted by Bree and Brandy. The next area is the Saint Tremaine's Graveyard. If you are a horror girly, if this is where you thrive, this is where you feel the baddest, this is where you want to live. This is where you're gonna want to explore, and this is being hosted by Monet. And then last but not least, we have Joe's Library. This is for people who are fans of backlisted books. I know that there are so many people who love to read backlist books. I typically read a lot of backlist books, and this area is being hosted by Bree and Erica. So one thing that I'm going to tell you about each of these locations, they each have 5 prompts and a free space. That free space just indicates that you can read whatever book you want to read as long as it fits the vibe of the area that you're in. So let's say you're in Ruby's Crew, right? And you are reading the free space area, which we're going to talk a little bit more about how you read your prompts. Don't worry, we're going to get there. But if you're in the Ruby's Crew area and you end up having to read your free space prompt, you can read any book that fits within crime fiction that is middle grade children's comic or graphic novel. So it's kind of like a free for all as long as it fits the vibe of the location that you're at. The other amazing aspect of this is that every single one of these locations is going to be doing a group read, and the group read often fits a lot of the prompts that are associated with the location. So be sure, like I said, go back and check out Bree's video because Bree talks about each one of the locations group reads. She's going to be getting the dates and times for the live shows of those group reads. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the group read that we're going to be doing for Ruby's Crew, which I am so excited for because I've been meaning to read this book for a very, very long time. This is a classic children's literature book that has all of these spooky horror elements that you would be looking for to fit within this location. So the group read that we will be picking up is going to be Southern Tales 30, the Dark 30, Southern Tales of the Supernatural by Patricia C. McKissick, and is illustrated by Brian Pickney. Y'all, when I tell you this is a classic, these are 2 authors that are super, super important when it comes to classic children's literature, especially Black authors. You cannot miss out on this. I'm going to read you what Patricia McKissick said at the beginning of this because I think it gives a very good summary of what this is. It is a short story collection. It's about 10 or so stories in it, and Patricia McKissick, in her own words in 1992, stated, "The Dark 30 Southern Tales of the Supernatural is a collection of original stories rooted in African American history and the oral storytelling tradition. They should be shared at that special time when it is neither day nor night, and when shapes and shadows play tricks on the mind. When you feel fear tingling in your toes and zinging up your spine like a closing zipper, you have experienced the delicious horror of a tale of the Dark 30. I am beyond excited to read this. This is a Newbery Honor book. This is a Coretta Scott King Award winning book. I could not help but to pick this book to specifically fit within our Ruby's Crew location. Okay, so before we get into the prompts that are specifically associated with Ruby's Crew and a couple of recommendations that I want to give you for every single prompt, I want to emphasize that there is a very interesting element attached to Blackoween-a-thon this year with Tulis Parish. You may have heard me say it earlier that this is a creation that Bree has, mastermind at this point, that allows us to continue this readathon and explore it for years to come. And the reason why I use the term years to come or the phrase years to come is because of how Bree has developed the readathon this year. So 2 things, if you watch Bree's video, you will know Bree tells you 2 specific things to do. The first thing you want to do is choose your place. So whether that is Bayou's Haunted House, whether that is Ruby's Crew, Noir Apothecary, Saint Tremaine's Graveyard, Joe's Lab, choose your place first, okay? So you choose your place. Choose your place. Then after choosing your place, you choose your role, okay? Everybody follow, right? We follow. Step 1, choose your place. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to visit? The second part is choose your role. There are 3 roles that you can choose from. The first is the amateur chair, which means you complete 1 to 2 prompts for the place that you choose. Okay? The second one is detective bon temps, and this is when you complete 3 to 4 prompts for the place that you choose. Investigator thorough is when you complete 5 to 6 prompts for the place that you choose. Okay, so remember, each place has 6 prompts, so you technically don't have to do all 6 prompts depending upon what role you choose. If you're like, I'm kind of strapped from time, October's a busy month for me, I want to participate but I want to do so at a lower level, the amateur chair role might be for you because you're only doing 1 to 2 prompts. If you're like me and you're a little wild, you're a little amped up and excited to get this on a roll, you may say, I think I want to do investigator thorough. 5 to 6 prompts for the location that I choose. Well, why do we have these roles anyway? What's the purpose behind having these roles? There's got to be a reason behind it, right? Yes, in fact, there is. So the reason why this readathon is going to be something that we interact with for years to come is because by interacting with Tulis Parish, your goal is to become the grand searcher. And to become the grand searcher, you want to choose the role or complete the role of investigator thorough for each one of the 6 locations. Now, as everyone has said before me that's already done their announcement videos, the intention and goal is not for you to become the grand searcher just this year. That's a lot of books, that's a lot of prompts, that's a lot of reading, which is not really doable in 1 year, and that's not the point, okay? You have to be investigator thorough for each one of your locations. The only thing is that if you choose to become, let's say, detective bon temps for Ruby's Crew, right, this year, 2023. Next year, if you decide to participate again, you would have to start all over again for Ruby's Crew. It does not carry over. So that means that if you only choose to do detective bon temps in Ruby's Crew this year, you would have to start over next year in order to get that investigator thorough role. If I can speak today, okay? So for me, for example, I think I'm going to choose 2 locations this year to become an investigator thorough, and that's definitely going to be Ruby's Crew, and I'm definitely feeling Noir Apothecary this year. I think that's going to be the place where I'm going to thrive. So those 2 locations are going to be the locations where I am going to try to complete 5 to 6 prompts, okay? I may dibble dabble in other areas, but for the most part, I probably will wait for years to come to complete the rest of those areas because, let's be for real, I know I'm going to be strapped for time in October because time is just time. I've been very, very busy just in general. So I'm setting realistic expectations for myself. Now, there's another part of this that you're gonna want to keep in mind, okay? You don't just get to choose whatever prompt you want. Bree's making this real interesting, and she's making this real interesting personally for me. I know I wasn't thought of when she did this, but this is going to be interesting for me as a mood reader, okay? Y'all know I suck at sticking to a TBR. I am horrible at sticking to TBRs. And so Bree is really challenging me with this next element. Your prompts are chosen by rolling a 6-sided dice, okay? You do not have to go out and buy some dice. You can just go online and Google and roll your die that way, okay? You don't have to go out, because I know I'm not gonna go out and buy a set of dice for this. You could just Google dice, have it roll, and that way you can participate. So the roll of the dice is going to choose what prompt you're going to read from. So if you look at all the prompts for Ruby's Crew, for example, right? You roll your dice and it lands on a 1. That means that you have to read a book with strong friendship that fits within middle grade crime fiction, graphic novels, comics, children's lit, all of that within that theme, okay? You roll the dice again. It lands on 2 this time. Then you have to read a book that fits the prompt of root magic, okay? So there is a harder element to this than I think even I expected, but it's fun because it challenges you and it's a way to continue to interact not only with the community but with the map and just the different locations. Bree has also set forth other parameters. One that I need to point out: books can only double for 2 locations at a time. So if the Dark 30 fits for a prompt and Ruby's Crew in the Laissez-Faire Streetcar as well as the Noir Apothecary, you can only pick 2 of those locations for this to be used to fit the prompts. Okay, so a book can only double for 2 locations at a time. It can't double for 3, 4, 5, and 6. Only 2 locations at a time. Also, with the rolling of the dice. Oh, Bree, with the rolling of the dice, okay? You are only allowed to re-roll 1 time, which is going to be hard for me, okay? The reason why I say it's going to be hard for me is because if you roll the dice and it lands on Strong Friendship, it lands on number 1. Strong Friendship is the first prompt for Ruby's Crew, okay? Let's say I roll the dice, it lands on 1, and I'm like, you know what? I really just don't feel like reading a book with Strong Friendship. I'm not feeling that. This is not my thing, right? You're allowed to re-roll only 1 time. 1 time. That is it. So you have to be careful, because if you re-roll more than 1 time, you have to choose a penalty book. All right? I will make sure that I put the penalty books down, the link to the penalty books down in the description box below. Please, y'all, do not re-roll more than 1 time, okay? Try to stick to your prompts as best as you can, all right? And I will also make sure I link the graphics with the prompts. That way you're not confused on if you roll a 3, what prompt is that? If I roll a 4, what prompt is that? Bree has clearly lined all of that out, so there's no questions about what number on the dice aligns to what prompt in each location. I am just like super blown away by the fact that I'm only going to be able to roll the dice once, y'all. I think that probably is the one thing where I'm like, oh, Bree is making me work for this, okay? Like, you're making me work and you're challenging me, and I appreciate that, because this may prove that I can read outside of my mood. I can do this. I know I can do this. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine, right? I'm going to be all right. Am I going to be all right? I think I'm going to be fine. I think I'm going to be fine. All right, so let's dive a little bit into the prompts for Ruby's Crew, okay? I think I've answered all of the important questions. Like I said, Bree has created all of these wonderful resources. I'll make sure that I link them down in the description box below in case you have any other questions. But let's go through the prompts for Ruby's Crew. So the first prompt is Strong Friendship, okay? So I'm going to give you some titles. I'm not going to go into deep explanation with each one of these titles because I don't want this video to be explicitly long, but at least this is going to be an area where I can get you a little started, all right? Strong Friendship. We have The Forgotten Girl. We have The Mean Girl Who Never Speaks. We have Bayou Magic, Promise Boys, Play the Game. So these are all great titles to check out for Strong Friendship. And the next section for Root Magic, we literally have Root Magic. We have Hoodoo, and we also have Conjure Isle. For a book set in summer or spring, we have The Parker Inheritance, we have Wednesday and Wolf, and then we have When Winter Robertson Came, which I really enjoy that one. That one was a really fun read for me. The next one, A Book with a Secret, we have quite a few for this one. We have The Parker Inheritance again, so you can use The Parker Inheritance for a book set in summer or a book with a secret. We have Unstoppable Octavia May. We have Delicious Monsters. We have The Girl in the Lake. We have Farmhand, Finch House, Ophi's Ghost, and House of Dies Dreer. Now that last one is an epic classic when we talk about early representation of mystery and horror by Black authors in children's lit. That is one that I definitely myself am thinking about going to. This is another book by a well-known Black children's literature author, and that is Virginia Hamilton. Next, we have a book with a character getting infected. So think about things like zombies, possession stories, all that. So we have Bitterroot, The Taking of Jake Livingston, and then also The Undead Truth of Us. And then the last prompt that we have for that area is going to be a free space, which there's a lot of titles that you could pick for that. I think Nightmare King, Boo Stew, Bad Witch, Burning, Destroyer, Daughters of Jubilation. These are just titles that I can think of off the top of my head that would fit within Ruby's crew that you could possibly use for that free space. So lots of things to choose from in each one of my sections. I believe I gave you at least 3 recommendations for each section. So make sure you check out those recommendations. Throughout the month, I'll be giving my own recommendations. I'm still going back and forth on whether I'm going to vlog this. I haven't quite decided yet whether I'm going to vlog it or not. I think that I will vlog it just because I think I will vlog it. We'll see what happens. If I do, it probably will be something like a weekly vlog so you can see what I'm doing and how, you know, my reading experience is going. We'll see what I make my mind up about, how I decide to do this. We'll see how this is going to go. All right, y'all. As always, I will leave all of the relevant and necessary information down in the description box below. If you have any questions, like I said, I'm going to say it again a million times over. Make sure you go back and you watch Bree's video so that you are getting a very in-depth look at everything that's associated with Blackathon this year. I am not sure exactly what I'm going to be reading just yet for each one of these. I have a lot to choose from because there's someone here that I have not read that I'm very, very interested in reading. We'll see what happens. I'm very curious to see what happens this year. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let me know if you're going to be participating, if you thought about what roles or what locations you're choosing, what roles you're going to play, and have you already picked out your books? I know some people have already got their TBRs set, and I'm like blown away because I wish I could be that thorough. I'm never that thorough. All right, y'all. I'll be back with another video soon.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down. All